Your 1-year wedding anniversary to Birdman.
Yes, Brian. Everyone calls him
Birdman. Is it weird that we call him Birdman?
A little bit, but people call him that a stunner. I say Brian.
So talk about how meeting him at this stage of your life has felt.
We've been friends for over 25 years. He used to go to all my shows. He was there for my baby shower.
Oh, my gosh.
That kind of thing. Never crossed the line. He was my dearest friend.
Now what? Finally, Toni Braxton is revealing the truth about those insane cash-related practices. Additionally, the entire affair sounds far darker than anyone could have predicted. Many believe that Birdman and Nicki Minaj worship the same God as everyone else. However, Toni seems to be implying that what was happening behind closed doors wasn't at all sacred. People were perplexed for years as to why Toni continued to live with Birdman. However, rumors are now circulating that he emotionally locked her in. It was almost as if he had cast a spell on her. Although she made an effort to maintain her composure, there were persistent whispers that they were secretly separating. Because Toni found some extremely unsettling conduct going on behind the scenes at about the same time. She wasn't concealing the fact that something about his way of life didn't sit well with her, and she reportedly wanted to leave all that negative energy behind. In 2016, suspicions of a romance between Toni and Birdman began when he would frequently appear backstage at her performances and sneak into parts about Braxton family values as if he owned the venue. By 2018, he had secured the engagement with that enormous $5 million ring. But instead of going down the aisle, things quickly became chaotic. Insiders said Toni began to have serious misgivings after they repeatedly postponed the wedding. Rumor has it that she started to notice things that she was unable to ignore. And as each month went by, those warning signs became more noticeable. Toni was already battling lupus and attempting to keep her health in the face of an unpredictable environment. She didn't connect with Birdman at all, since he continued to move as if he had one foot in the streets. In addition, she was in a difficult financial situation and had already filed for bankruptcy twice, so the pressure was constant. When people discovered that they had unfollowed one another on Instagram and erased their images, things became even more chaotic. The internet as a whole began to murmur that they were finished. Despite the atmosphere suggesting otherwise, they both leapt in to assert that they were still together and standing strong. However, this is the point at which everything shifted from being unclear to being completely chaotic. They had secretly gotten married last year, and only when Toni filed for divorce behind closed doors did the truth come to light. Even though she later retracted it, TMZ was able to obtain court documents that revealed they had been married since 2023 and simply had kept everyone in the dark. The streets are claiming that Toni's attempt to depart was actually due to her blowing up at Birdman after learning of some unsettling activities he was purportedly engaging in behind her. People believe that this is consistent with what rapper Juvenile attempted to alert the public about when he mentioned that Birdman had offered him a dubious record deal that never seemed right. She immediately returned to her priorities when Toni and Birdman were arguing: her family, her health, her beliefs, and maintaining a stable profession. People on the internet were saying that Birdman was beginning to suffer greatly as a result of the negative energy he was purportedly enmeshed in while she was gathering herself. The whole situation began to look crazy when you combine that with the rumors that he was using a variety of heavy narcotics. Everyone was wondering what was going on when this man was caught on camera nodding off during shows and even slurring his words during public speeches.
I got the Cash Money. It was the weirdest thing. I knew they had all these artists on the label.
Right.
So I get to the label, and then all of a sudden, they let all the artists go, all the other artists go.
Here's the thing now. People frequently complained that Cash Money didn't sell as well as other labels. Additionally, rumors circulated inside the industry that their purported rituals had less to do with spirituality and more to do with obsessive loyalty and control. Birdman used to give the artists all those chains and ostentatious presents. She believed I had returned. Online users claim it wasn't only kindness. He did this to remind them of who was in charge. If you look closely, you could see that anyone who resisted seemed to suffer severe consequences. After moving away, artists like Kilo G and UNLV had a difficult time. Additionally, there were unconfirmed allegations on the streets that Kilo was in danger for speaking out against the label. Furthermore, the pressure wasn't limited to minor names. People began to claim that Birdman turned against anyone who had no interest in participating in those purportedly sinister acts. Even some of the greatest names in Cash Money weren't exempt. Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne both had unpleasant encounters with him. Parts of it were shown in real time to the entire world. Wayne's position took a drastic turn in 2014 when he accused Birdman of preventing him from releasing the long-awaited Carter 5, claiming he felt stuck on the label and unable to move at all. There were rumors that Wayne owed the label millions of dollars in royalties and advances, and that Birdman would not release anything until the financial issue was resolved. Wayne filed a $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money because he believed he was being hindered. Not only did he win, but he also obtained a $10 million payout from Universal and entirely renounced the contract. Later on, they made an effort to make amends and were even spotted hanging out at clubs once more. But anyone with eyes could see that the atmosphere remained strained. Wayne and his group excited the audience during the Hot Boys reunion tour by jumping off the stage in the middle of Birdman. Everyone was murmuring at that point as if there was still a problem between them. Nicki Minaj reportedly removed herself from anything that seemed ritualistic or dominating behind the scenes, which contributed to her own issues with Birdman. There aren't many receipts available because the majority of her problems were private, but the whispers persisted.
You're doing a great job. In case no one's told you that, you're doing a great job.
Then, not so long ago, Nicki posted a video of herself sobbing violently in a quiet room on Instagram with no explanation, and the internet began making connections right away. Online users initially attempted to claim that Nicki was simply high or going through an unrelated situation. However, a completely different story was being whispered on the streets. People said she was crying because she wanted to leave whatever terrible circumstance Cash Money had reportedly dragged her into. Furthermore, leaving that world wasn't as easy as walking away. People claimed that the energy she became enmeshed in was making it difficult for her to move on, and as a result, she is now afraid of losing everything that matters to her, including her loved ones. Naturally, the internet also voiced its loud thoughts. Toni is not a victim, someone remarked. Being in the business, she was aware of what goes on behind closed doors. Toni Braxton was among those who argued that they all run together, are sellouts, and participate in rituals. Everyone had a different theory, and the comments were going crazy. I therefore need to hear from you immediately. How do you feel about Toni coming up and disclosing these rumors regarding Nicki and Birdman's alleged rituals? Do you believe that this entire circumstance contributed to Cash Money's demise, or is the internet pushing it too far? Leave your opinions in the comment area. Express your true feelings and let's discuss it. Make sure to use the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share this video with someone who shares your passion for drama. And I'll see you on the next one.